There is new anger over the police response to the deadly school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. Anger that has been sparked by the leaked release of new surveillance video. It shows what police officers did and notably did not do as a teenage gunman killed 19 children and 2 teachers. Our senior correspondent, Katie Simpson, is in Washington. She's going to show us segments of this video, very carefully selected, Katie. Let's begin with what we're going to see.
Yeah, the police response to this shooting has been heavily criticized and is currently under investigation right now because it took some 77 minutes before police actually entered that classroom to end the shooting, to end the massacre. And so what has since happened is that a local paper in Texas, the Austin American-Statesman, has released raw footage from a security camera inside the school. They've released 2 versions of it, one that's 77 minutes long and then an edited 4-minute piece that's sort of goes over the main aspects of what was going on in terms of the police response. There's a number of little elements here that we're going to show you that illustrates, as you say, Heather, what police did do, and more what is really getting most attention, what police did not do. So police arrived into the school some 3 minutes after shots were first fired inside a classroom. Now we have the video of that moment where police are first heading into the school. They're coming into a hallway. So most of the footage that was released is from this vantage point. And you can see there are officers running toward the classroom. It's at the end of this hallway. And as they are inside, it is quiet at first, and then gunshots ring out. And that is when you actually see these officers retreat. So there are a few officers in there. You can see that they're armed. They're taking up different positions in that hallway. And a short time later, when gunshots inside that classroom are heard, you see them pull out and run back. It takes a few seconds for the tape to get there, but that is the sort of the first entry of police into the building. Now, the second part that we're going to show you is from about 19 minutes in. That is when the first tactically armed, the officers who arrive in tactical gear show up. We can bring that up for you now. You can see that there's an officer who's got a shield. There are officers that are armed in with riot gear, and these are sort of the first heavily armed officers to enter the school 19 minutes after. You'll remember that kids that were inside that classroom had been calling 911 for help. There were kids that were trapped and in dire need of help. And then there's another aspect of this video we're going to show you. It's from 57 minutes in. So 57 minutes after those initial shots were fired, after police entered that building, we can see a large group of officers standing in the hallway. And there's one point where an officer who's standing there, part of this team, he goes to the hand sanitizer on the wall there and puts hand sanitizer on his hands. That's the moment there. That is what's also sparking a lot of outrage. There are children in need of rescue, and there are so many officers standing in the hallway at this point. And again, this is a response that is under investigation from police. This new release of this footage is sparking a lot of controversy in the community.
And I would imagine, notably in the families of the victims, what are they saying?
Yeah, so some families are incredibly upset that this was leaked through a local newspaper as well as a local television station, an NBC affiliate in Texas. But there's also criticism that police could have shown the families this. There has been a massive criticism of how police have handled this entire situation, from the initial accounts that they offered the public to the response. There's an investigation underway. But we're going to show you some clips now of family members of the victims, how they're responding to the release of this, as well as people in the community, how they're responding to what they saw on that tape.
Whoever leaked that video, I pray that you never have to deal with what all the parents, the grandparents, the siblings, the aunts, the uncles, the cousins are dealing with.
All these officers, they got their shield, they got their weapons, they got all their protective gear on, standing there. That ain't right. That ain't right. They signed up for this. They signed up for this, to serve and to protect. They didn't do none of that day.
Coming up on Sunday, we're going to get the first report from local officials into the investigation into the police response. And that, of course, is expected to cause even more backlash when those details are revealed.
Katie, thank you. Our senior correspondent, Katie Simpson from Washington.